Welcome, dear viewers. We appreciate you tuning in today. We are reviewing a political article focusing on Ethiopia, and it is important to note that the views expressed in this review are exclusively those of the writer Addisu Admas, and do not necessarily represent the views of Ethiopia Insight. So let's dive into Addisu Admas's article, The Strategic Blunders of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, and explore the insightful perspectives it offers. Addisu argues exploration of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed's journey requires understanding the context of his rise to power and his subsequent fall from grace. Initially, Abiy Ahmed was immensely popular, and his ascent to power was met with widespread support from the Ethiopian people. He was seen as a beacon of hope, promising to bring an end to the authoritarian rule that had dominated Ethiopian politics for decades.
We will address all the troubles witnessed in the country, and I promise to deliver for the people of Ethiopia and reverse their grief. I call on all Ethiopian people inside the country or abroad. It's time for us to forgive each other, close the yesterday's chapter, and move on to the next chapter with national unity and consensus.
However, over time, his popularity began to wane. The reasons for this decline are manifold, from the ethnic violence and the political instability that surged under his rule, to the erosion of democratic freedoms and the crackdown on opposition voices. All these issues have raised serious questions about Abiy's leadership and his strategic decisions. Despite the controversy surrounding his leadership, it's crucial to recognize the Western world's acknowledgement of Abiy Ahmed's role in ending the decades-long Ethiopian-Eritrean war. For many Ethiopians, Abiy Ahmed's overthrow of the Tigray People's Liberation Front (TPLF) regime remains his crowning achievement, a move that drastically shifted the power dynamics within the country. But the impact of dismantling the TPLF regime on Ethiopia's future remains a topic of intense debate and analysis. Some view it as a necessary step towards democracy, while others see it as a dangerous power grab that has only served to exacerbate ethnic tensions. Addisu continues, at the heart of Abiy's leadership lies the concept of Medamir, a philosophy of unity and inclusivity that seeks to bring together Ethiopia's diverse ethnic groups. Abiy's vision was to foster economic prosperity, build a democratic society, and unify a fragmented nation. To achieve this vision, Abiy adopted various strategies, including sweeping political reforms, economic liberalization, and peace initiatives. But the effectiveness of these strategies remains under scrutiny, as Ethiopia continues to grapple with political turmoil and unrest. Stay tuned as Addisu delve deeper into Abiy's strategic decisions and their ramifications in the next segment. As we trace back to the origins of the conflict, it's important to note that Abiy Ahmed's initial confrontation with the Tigray People's Liberation Front (TPLF) was from a position that, while supported by the Ethiopian people, was not entirely secure. The control of the military and security apparatus posed significant challenges, particularly given the TPLF's entrenched position within these institutions. This imbalance of power set the stage for a conflict that was, in retrospect, perhaps not entirely unavoidable, but certainly could have been postponed. The Faustian bargain with Isaias Afwerki and the provocative selective slaughter of Ethiopian soldiers served as the primary catalyst for the Tigray War. The TPLF, sensing the impending downfall, prepared for conflict and huddled in Tigray. Abiy Ahmed's decision to involve Isaias Afwerki in countering the TPLF's onslaught further escalated the situation. One might argue that a more strategic approach would have been to focus on purging TPLF members from the Ethiopian Defense and Security Forces, rather than rushing into a full-blown conflict. The far-reaching consequences of these decisions, as seen in the Tigray War, underline the importance of careful and considered decision-making by those in power. The establishment of a national, apolitical military and security apparatus could have potentially avoided such a conflict. Similarly, eliminating the unhealthy alliance with Isaias Afwerki could have prevented the escalation of tensions. However, these are all points of contention, and differing perspectives on Abiy Ahmed's actions abound. Stay tuned as Addisu continue to explore the consequences of these strategic decisions in the next segment. We will delve deeper into the TPLF's resurgence and the threat it poses to Ethiopia's unity. Throughout history, it has been proven that allowing an ousted regime to linger is a recipe for future conflicts. In the case of Ethiopia, Abiy Ahmed's second major blunder was indeed letting the TPLF not only persist, but also rule Tigray again, even after the carnage and devastation they had caused. There is a lack of clarity about the backdoor dealings that led to this decision. The Pretoria and Nairobi Accords may have ended the Tigray War, but they have also paved the way for the TPLF's resurgence and potentially future conflicts. It is unnecessary to delve into the details of these accords to find any redeeming factor. In reality, the war should have concluded with the total capitulation of the TPLF, with the complete demobilization of its military force and the surrender of its ruling cadre. The TPLF, which sent Tigray's youth to kill their fellow Ethiopians and to die in large numbers, should have been punished. Instead, the party was allowed to retain power and rule over Tigray once more. The question then arises, what has been achieved with all the blood unnecessarily spilled on the battlefields? The answer is unsettling: nothing. The ideal scenario would have been a complete overhaul of Tigray's administration and bureaucracy, replaced by a coalition of opposition parties that could have fostered a completely new relationship with the federal government. Instead, the status quo persists. Moreover, as long as the TPLF remains alive, the contested zones, often mislabeled by Westerners as Western Tigray, will not have a viable solution for the foreseeable future. This leaves Ethiopia's unity and the power of the federal government in a perpetual state of threat. Stay tuned as we delve into the future implications next. In a shocking turn of events, the third strategic error, closely associated with the previous one, is Abiy Ahmed's intentional and unprovoked war on Amhara, specifically on the armed militia known as Fano. The PM's demand for the integration of Fano and all other militias into the Ethiopian Federal Defense Forces, EFD, and the disarmament of the people acts against the constitution and the Amhara people's birthright to bear arms. This unnecessary and irresponsible war was provoked by a Nobel Peace Prize winner, which could have been avoided through peaceful means. The indispensable role of Fano fighters in defeating the TPLF and the widespread support they have in the region are inexplicably ignored by the PM. The unclear endgame of the PM raises unsettling questions. Is he trying to subjugate Amhara by force, or is he helping his old comrades and bosses in the TPLF to achieve their goals? In the next scene, we'll continue to explore the consequences of these strategic decisions. Stay tuned. As the dust of conflict swirls across the Amhara region, another complex issue looms large on the horizon. PM Abiy Ahmed's ambiguous stance on the Oromoma ideology. This ideology, conceived by exiled Oromo intellectuals, has been presented as a counter to the perceived Amharanization of Ethiopian society and politics. It's a contentious issue, with some arguing that Amharanization was less of a colonial scheme and more of a hegemonic struggle between Ethiopia's major ethnicities. The Oromoma ideology, on the other hand, has faced criticism for being more colonialist than Amharanization. Critics argue that it aims to integrate Ethiopia's minorities into the larger Oromia, thus erasing their unique identities and cultures. Where does Abiy stand on this issue? His position remains unclear. His shifting alliances and the lack of a clear stance on Oromoma have raised suspicions about his true intentions. Is he subtly promoting Oromoma, or is he merely playing a political game to stay in power? These questions continue to fuel the fire of debate and conflict in Ethiopia. In the next scene, we'll delve deeper into the consequences of these strategic decisions. Stay tuned. Abiy Ahmed's relationship with the Ethiopian Tewahedo Orthodox Church, ETOC, is a complex and intriguing aspect of his leadership. Born to a Muslim father and a Christian mother, Abiy's religious heritage is as diverse as the country he leads. Despite his affiliation with the Protestant Christian denomination, he garnered significant goodwill from the ETOC during the early days of his premiership. His role in reconciling the two contending patriarchs of the ETOC, Abuna Mercurios and Abuna Matthias, earned him praise and respect. However, this relationship has not been without its share of controversy. The shift in PM Abiy's relationship with the ETOC has led to divisions within the church. Allegations of his interference in the affairs of the ETOC have sparked discontent among the clergy and the faithful. Some critics argue that PM Abiy's actions have led to a politicization of the church, a dangerous development in a country already grappling with ethnic and regional tensions. The potential consequences of his interference in the ETOC's affairs are far-reaching. They could exacerbate existing tensions, further polarize the Ethiopian society, and even undermine the unity of the ETOC, one of the oldest Christian institutions in the world. As we continue to explore the strategic decisions of PM Abiy Ahmed, his relationship with the ETOC adds another layer of complexity to his leadership. In our next scene, we will delve deeper into the consequences of these strategic decisions. Stay tuned. As we delve deeper into the strategic decisions of PM Abiy Ahmed, his recent actions towards Somalia stand out as a significant misstep. Ever since he took office, one of the most contentious decisions he has made is initiating the current debacle with Somalia. At a time when Ethiopia is grappling with internal instability, the question arises: was it necessary to start a conflict with a neighboring country? Predicting Somalia's reaction to Ethiopia's assertive stance, many critics argue, should not have been difficult. Furthermore, the decision to use Ethiopian Airlines, a national treasure that unites Ethiopians across ethnic and regional lines, as a bargaining chip in this conflict, has been met with widespread disapproval. Many observers believe that this move is more about diverting attention from the pressing issues within Ethiopia rather than addressing the country's real problems. A war with Somalia at this time could potentially trigger a chain reaction, leading to secessionist wars on multiple fronts within Ethiopia. We only need to look back to our last war with Somalia in 1977 to understand the severity of this situation. The Somali army was less than 100 miles from Addis Ababa, and if not for Soviet assistance, Ethiopia could have been facing a fate similar to Somalia's, becoming a failed state. As we reflect on PM Abiy's decisions, we must ask, is this the path we wish to tread again? The decisions made today will shape the Ethiopia of tomorrow. As we move forward, we must remember our history and learn from our past mistakes. Stay tuned as we continue to explore the consequential decisions of PM Abiy Ahmed's leadership. As we delve into the aftermath of the conflict, the rebuilding of the Ethiopian army emerges as a crucial aspect of Ethiopia's future. The long-term process of re-establishing the army as a national institution, embracing all ethnicities, is a task that requires strategic thinking and a clear vision. However, the potential cruelty of initiating another war for a naval base in Somaliland raises questions about PM Abiy Ahmed's strategic decisions. Moreover, the missed opportunity for a meaningful alliance with Eritrea post the Ethiopian-Eritrean war demonstrates a lack of foresight. This, coupled with the PM's unclear strategies, has left Ethiopia with a lack of allies willing to aid in its time of need. The PM's strategic decisions, or lack thereof, have left the country in a precarious situation. It is crucial for the PM to be open to dissenting voices and adopt strategies that align with Ethiopia's priorities. As we continue to explore the strategic decisions of PM Abiy Ahmed, the future of the Ethiopian army and the country's alliances remain a topic of intense debate. The decisions made today will undoubtedly shape the Ethiopia of tomorrow. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the consequential decisions of PM Abiy Ahmed's leadership. As we conclude this deep dive into the strategic decisions of PM Abiy Ahmed, we hope you have found this analysis informative and enlightening. The future of Ethiopia is a topic of tremendous importance, and we encourage you to share your thoughts and perspectives in the comments section below. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button to let us know. Your engagement helps us to continue providing this kind of content, and if you haven't already, do consider subscribing to our channel for more insightful content. As we navigate the complex world of politics, your support and participation are invaluable. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more deep dives into the world of politics.